So I began my career in responsible investment in 2010. So I am what you can call an ESG pure product, and I was lucky enough to see SRI develop from a niche domain reserved to a few inside followers into a transversal subject which is now redefining the way in which investors think about value creation within the companies they invest in. A little like with SRI, I started my career focusing on governance, and I have since specialized in environmental issues over the past few years, particularly climate change. This topic has taken up much of my time over the past 5 years, especially following the COP21 in 2015. This is also a fascinating subject as we are at the very beginning of the story with everything still to be constructed and defined. Risk analysis models will soon integrate climate scenarios. Valuation models will have to take the carbon question into account, either in the simpler form of additional cost incurred or through more sophisticated mechanism involving scenario combining political issues, technological progress, and adjusted growth forecasts. We are just at the very beginning of climate integration into the financial sphere. And the climate question is relatively straightforward to analyze and model compared to the next big issue that companies and investors are going to have to integrate, which is biodiversity. So I joined Candriam in September 2020, and this wasn't exactly the easiest period, as like everyone, I almost immediately started working from home full-time, and I still haven't met my colleagues in Brussels, for example, while I chat with them every day. But I must say I was made to feel extremely welcome, and I already feel completely integrated into the broad Candriam family. For several reasons, but mainly for its human values. Such values are extremely important. Candriam has succeeded in developing SRI and maintaining a leading position. This requires deep-rooted beliefs and conviction. The positions taken by Candriam on key underlying issues, particularly integrating climate change into investment strategies and voting policies, represented for me a clear proof that the values of conviction and responsibility, which form our brand name, are truly part of our DNA. And then the human angle was also a determining factor, as I had former colleagues already working at Candriam who shared the same convictions and values as I. Clearly, the quality of our fundamental ESG research, which is also a reflection of the quality of the fundamental financial analysis. Today, in conviction-based investment management, credible SRI strategies and ESG integration cannot be developed without quality underlying research. And ESG issues are complex and difficult to understand simply through a series of KPIs, despite what the extra financial rating agencies would have us believe. To truly integrate ESG providing value to investment process requires analysts and quality ESG research. Candriam currently undoubtedly has one of the best teams in the marketplace, objectively speaking, of course. My energy, low carbon, of course, enthusiasm and conviction, but like any other member of our ESG team. In addition, I hope to be able to contribute some of my expertise on environmental issues, on climate change of course, and also in biodiversity, which is a subject we are starting to work on seriously. Client demands on these subjects are becoming increasingly sophisticated, and we need to develop the right tools and partnerships in order to maintain our position as leader. Of course, I believe that ESG will continue developing, even faster. It is not a fashion or passing trend, but a real change of paradigm, which also reflects the key sustainable development issues at play in our economies and societies. But as it becomes increasingly mainstream, ESG will take a number of different forms. The split between funds integrating ESG and more mainstream funds will no longer be the main differentiating factor. The key distinction will be made between different types of funds integrating ESG. On the one hand, there will be the purely sustainable development thematic conviction funds, while on the other, more benchmarked or even passive strategy funds, which will have to integrate ESG issues, particularly the climate question. The notion of impact investing or positive contribution will also continue to develop, which will enable purer SRI strategies to stand out by offering their clients both financial and impact returns. Clients, notably the younger generation, require a greater sense of meaning from their investments. The capacity to analyze and maximize their social contribution will be a key advantage for conviction-based investment managers. It is not a coincidence that Candriam and SRI are almost the same age, or at least both part of the same generation. They understand each other and combine perfectly, and I hope I can contribute to continue make them grow together.